Hello, welcome to Live from the Tabletop, episode something 6. This one's going to be about the new Ravnos stuff. I've brought on a few special guests for this episode to discuss it with. So welcome Tommy and Auntie to the show. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
What's happening, guys? Auntie, you've done a bit of play testing with this, but we're not allowed to discuss that.
Yeah,
so you are a bit
let's
more
not go
familiar
there.
with the cards and how they're going to work. Yeah. So I brought Auntie on because we wanted to discuss, because you're quite a prolific tournament player, go around all the ECs a lot. So I want to see your insights on like how it'll impact the meta game. I think that'd be quite interesting. This is all down to we had a long discussion when we were drunk and thought it'd make a good show. So so I brought Tommy too. Hello. He's one of our local players and prolific artist of
prolific artist and nationals final thrower.
known human. Tommy Hayward.
Known human.
Known human. Right, so let's get into the deck, I guess. I figured it'd be better to talk about the crypt after the library, so we've got some context for it. But so in the Master Suite, we've got Arcane Investigation. There's 1 of 3 Blood Doll, 1 Club Illusion, 1 Fortune Teller Shop, 1 Garibaldi Mucci Museum, 1 Park Hunting Ground, 1 Power Base LA, and 1 Week of Nightmares. Everyone's happy to see Arcane Invest coming back. It's a much needed reprint, wasn't it? We've got 3 Blood Dolls, kind of basic. Club Illusion seems quite good for this list. It is a bleed deck, after all. We've got Fortune Teller Shop, helps you stealth. Garibaldi, I think Garibaldi and Power Base, we can agree, pretty much goes in any Anarch deck, and it's hard to justify not putting in, right? Right?
Yep. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. What is Fortune Teller Shop?
Fortune Teller Shop is Ravnos only MasterCard. Cost 2 pool, tap, give +1 stealth to Ravnos.
Okay. I thought I assumed it was the hunting ground. I'm guessing they don't just have.
Oh no, that's Park Hunting Ground. That's in there as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Got Week of Nightmares as well. I think that's a pretty easy slide in.
Excellent.
Any Ravnos deck, right?
Yeah.
But the next one's a bit more exciting. So we've got Break the Bonds, which is one of the new cards. Just go to my little list of cards here. Action card requires an Anarch. More than 1 discipline can be used. Directed action, bleed. So Animalism gives you +1 bleed. Obfuscate gives you, if this bleed's successful, you can lock a minion controlled by the target Methuselah. Seems pretty strong to me. And Presence, if the bleed is successful, add 1 blood to a vampire uncontrolled region. So this is pretty much the core card of the deck. You get 8 in it. Yeah, what do you guys think? You think it sets it apart from?
Sounds ridiculous.
Yeah,
you get to increase your guys via like transfers. Get a bleed. Do you say it gives stealth on the bleed as well?
Yes, I believe. No, it's not at stealth.
It's not at stealth. Okay.
It's not at stealth. You get +1 bleed for Animalism.
And then you get to lock
Presence and lock a guy for Obfuscate. So do you guys think that we'll be seeing a lot less Platinum Protocol, a lot more of this, or do you think it won't really affect that?
I don't know. I've personally never played Platinum Protocol, but I mean it's just insane. Just like the utility of being able to unlock with the corruption counters later off whatever that card is.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever that card unlocks.
I really like that the Ravnos have options with Platinum Protocol, Undue Influence, and Break the Bonds. Crypt has like 5 dudes with Superior Obfuscate, which gives nice options with the Break the Bonds, like playing it with, let's say, Faceless Knight. That might be kind of oppressive, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, with Faceless Knight, it's a really interesting point because you can actually lock down 2 vampires there pretty easily. It's really strong, and as you say, Undue Influence is a traditional Anarch card that still gets played, and that is that a You only choose one with undue influence, though, right?
Yeah, it's only one. So
Yeah.
for Ravnos, it's most likely going to be presence. So basically, the card gives Ravnos an option to bleed for 1 stealth and to gain 1 pool blood on a vampire. But the thing that it makes it quite good in the deck, in my opinion, is that you can actually accelerate into many more minions and really get some value out of Week of Nightmares.
Yeah, definitely. Like getting more guys out. We can see it's kind of a small crypt, which we'll get to in a little bit. A couple of larger caps, but I don't believe. Yeah, you're also not restricted. Much like Thing, it doesn't specify younger vampire, so you can actually get weenies out to then get the older guys out.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see much of this outside of Clan, like in other decks?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we will. That's because Break the Bond gives the plus bleed on animalism. So even though it's a Ravnos card, the first thing that popped into my head while seeing it for the first time was, hey, this is a Jimmy C card. Like, you can just really cycle it with the Garibaldi Merci and like go nuts.
Yeah. I also think the Ravnos Barons could make some use of it because they both got the animalism and the obfuscate. But Jacques Rouge has presence as well. So
Sure.
I think we might see a lot of people sliding him in this list, which we can get to a bit more in crypt. I've accidentally full screened it, so I can't see the list anymore. Right. Okay. Then the other actions are entrancement, one Shulmalo Turret, 1 Treasured Samaji, which are just classic. Ravnos also includes, Treasured Samaji gives you a dodge and +1 bleed as an equipment. Shulmalo Turret is tarot. Even when you play it, you put the top 2 cards of your library underneath it. I think this came up on the last time we played, and then you can draw from it. You get another one every turn. It's pretty strong hand filtering kind of card. Yeah, it's really powerful.
Yep.
We've also got City Star Taxi, just getting that reprint in there, and Feral Hound, another new card. So let's discuss this one. It's a retainer, requires animalism, has 1 life. A basic, if the action to employ this retainer is successful, unlock the vampire during the next discard phase. You can lock this retainer to give the employer +1 intercept. The advanced unlocks you straight after the action instead. So the idea of playing a Raven Spy effectively and then unlocking seems pretty good.
Doesn't cost you any.
In my eyes.
Doesn't cost you any.
Yeah, zero blood cost. Yeah, but it is 1 use per turn because it unlocks unless you've got some tricks somehow to do it. I think it's quite good though. I think in this style deck, it's kind of a toolboxy stealth blade. So you've got a bit of block ability, but you're not walling. Like if you were playing like a classic Simisi wall build where you want Raven Spies on your guy for permanent intercept. This is just, you're probably going to only really be blocking 1 action a turn anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it kind of combos with Night Terrors though, and that's why I like about it. Like having Drabba back is quite awesome, and having superior Drabba is even more awesome. Yeah,
we should probably actually get to the reactions before discussing the blocking actually. So the action modifiers, we've got Cloak the Gathering, Lost in Crowd, Swallowed by Night, and Veil of Legions. No Faceless Night, which you mentioned earlier. Maybe that's a balance issue. You can't specify playtest results, but like I feel like that would be quite a blowout in a field of limited precons. Being able to lock down 2 guys seems really good. But some solid stealth cards. But there are a few crypt cards like Trung Chao Farm, who's like advanced animalism, so she won't have the obfuscate. So Cloak the Gathering and Veil of Legions will come in handy and things like that. Visions again requires Ravnos and presence. So this is like Hunger of Bardic was the first one of these. We've seen a few more. Basic is allies can't block during this action, and advanced is useful only during a bleed action, as above with +2 bleed. Seems pretty cool to me. I mean, the as above's quite nice, right? Primo card, not much to say. Everyone likes extra bleed, right? Like, you can't go wrong. Then if we go on to the reactions, 4 guard dogs, 4 cat's guidance, 4 on the key vive, 4 protection rackets. Sounds like most animalism and Arctic so far. And then we've got 4 night terrors and 4 visions of Zapathosaura. They're both new cards. So night terrors we'll do first, you just mentioned. Requires Ravnos, also requires obfuscate and presence, and cost 1 blood. At basic, reduce the action inconvenience health to 0. And at advanced, as above, and the vampire can strike combat ends during the first round of the resultant combat. What do you got to say about that?
Strong. I really like the card.
Really good. Yeah.
It's interesting to see, because with a lot of Ravnos drama, you'd expect some sort of like Carrion Crows, apparition, press kind of package. So it coming with the combat ends really shows the different shift that this list has taken to what we'd expect from animalism in an Anarch deck. You know, I think it's interesting that they've not just made it similar to the Gangrel or like the Zamisi. They've gone for a different approach, and this we do actually see that in the Zamisi as well, because they've got a card that helps them block and gives a combat ends as well. So a lot of people try and find their way around that with a press or psych or whatever. I think just the idea of not losing a combat that you don't want anyway is quite good. I feel that's something a lot of people don't understand, like blocking your predator with this deck usually, so you don't really care about taking beads off them. And
yeah, and like also the fact that there's 3 vampires in the crypt that can actually play it superior. That's kind of good.
Yeah, 3 unique. Yeah, so it's like, and they did put Ravnos only on it as well, so we won't see any broken old set type decks or anything taking advantage of this.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Like, just imagine something like Giotto using this one.
Clan impersonation's about to get a huge spike in playability.
Block with the unnamed. Even too high. Draw be a guy. But another great thing about the stealth reduction on it is it combos really well with, as you said, with the doggy. You get 1 built-in intercept, you go, I'll attempt to block. They need 2 stealth. You then push it to 0 and say you need 2 more. It's basically 3 intercept, which is fantastic. Then we can move on to Visions of Zapathosaura. This again requires presence and obfuscate, but doesn't require Ravnos, so we might see Ministry playing this. Cost 1 blood. At basic, reduce a bleed against you by 3. At advanced, lock this vampire to reduce a bleed against you to 0. So 3's a lot from basic, right?
Yeah, I don't even know how many times that advanced mode's going to even need to be used. But then again, this deck on its own has the capacity to bleed for 4 very consistently.
Yep.
Yeah,
and you can do 5 with the +1 bleed on as well.
That's right. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good against dominate decks too, right?
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of the trouble with bleed reduction cards is you go, I'll reduce by 2 or reduce by 3, whatever. But if you're playing Protected District, you reduce by 3, but they are Govern Bleeding with Stanislava and Conditioning, and you're like, cool. But I don't take 3 of it.
Compared to Deep Ecology, I think the cost of 1 is totally justified on Visions.
Yeah, totally agree. Like, it being basic and reducing by 3, you've got to at least pay 1 for that, right? If your Predator's Govern Bleeding you should pay a blood as well.
Doesn't even require a clan. Like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think we're going to see decks that basically say you bleed me for 0 or Archon investigations. Like there has to be a deck that could actually work with that kind of idea.
Well, this one. There's an Archon investigation in this list. As you say, you've got to push over that 3. And then if you do, you'll burn. It's a bit of a pain. So, hot tip, don't boost until they reduce it. that's the play, I think. But with the example I just used, like if you've got an inner circle member or something with plus bleed, you've got to play that govern just to get to that reduction. So you can end up losing quite a strong vampire there. If we look at the crypt, we've got. Oh, sorry, we haven't looked at the combat yet. So there's 2-pack alpha. So that's to help you get your dogs in play. 4 majesty, because as we discussed, it's a combat ends deck, not a combat deck. And 2 voracious vermin. Now this is another great new card, which I was really sad I couldn't play at the last event because every time I put Canine Horde on my deck since seeing this, I just feel a bit sad. It's combat card, requires animalism. Basic is strike dodge. Advanced is as above with 1 additional range strike burn weapon.
Card's mental.
Yeah. So anyone who's ran Canine Horde, like I looked at playing it in the Gangrel Anarch deck, but I found so many have basic that I couldn't reliably play the advanced, so I cut it. Strike 1R just sucks. Like it's never relevant, and when you've got it, you're like, especially like Goratrix Wall, you sit there and you're like, why? I just hand you.
No, it's the finishing move after you've took all their blood off them. That's what it's for. That's the utility of it.
Yeah, that's when you've put a drums of Zippy Totec on your Goratrix, and then you blur, right? Maybe if Bunny Hakim had animalism, maybe it'd work. But so I always find it very lackluster. But strike dodge in a wall deck, like the amount of times I've been sitting there and watch my opponent blow their hand out, and I'm looking at strike 1R, and I'm like, great, I'll take 10 ag. What are you, baby? But if I'd have just been able to go dodge, you're like, cool.
Yeah, especially in a void. Like if we imagine a situation where people are playing these new precons, well, there's a lot of war ghouls, so the dodge is very relevant.
True, yeah. Come at you for 4. Nope. Nope. Try and get out of there. Yeah, it's a great defensive card on a. Like, because Canine Horde is basically a defensive card. You play it to destroy the AK before they hit you with it, So being able to go, okay, well, you don't have a weapon, but I can still play defensively against you. It's all you want, isn't it? I think we'll see this a lot. Any animalism deck's going to be having it. I'm fairly certain on that. So yeah, moving into the crypt. We've got 1 Doc Martina, 1 Gaffy, 1 Henrique Pascal, 1 John Francois, 1 Luciano Carvalho, 1 Oleg Kaprizov, 1 Fibon, 1 Roy, 2 Sri Lika, 1 Trung Chao Pham, and 1 Zafira. So there's only 1 card in there that's actually in multiples, which is quite unusual for these decks. We don't normally see so many unique guys in it.
And it's not 2 Roy.
Not 2 Roy. You can't have too many Roy.
Roy for game.
Right. So who's the duplicate?
Who's the duplicate? Yeah. It's Sharikla.
Right. Yeah. So she's Egg Basti guy. Yeah. Egg Basti, Planner Advanced, and Fortitude, which is one of the old clan disciplines. Anarch. If Sri Lika is ready at the start of your discard phase, you get +1 discard phase action, and she's got +1 bleed. Can't argue with that text.
Really like that one.
Yeah.
Like having the +1 bleed is great for that kind of vampire. She can be a star in different, like in many strategies, and the hand fixing is always nice. Like that's what makes her like shine, in my opinion.
Yeah, the hand fix is pretty tasty. Quite like the artwork as well.
Yeah.
+1 bleed, never to be sniffed at, especially in a stealth bleed deck. So you think even though the crypt's quite low capacity, the 8 capacity vampires are still a pretty good fit in the deck, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the break the bonds isn't even a lower capacity vampire that you put it on. You can put it on any vampire in the uncontrolled, so you can just
exactly. Yeah.
pump her up.
So you can pump her out pretty quickly. No
Yeah.
need for Zilla's valleys or anything.
No.
You just get out. You can get out like Saphira 4-cap with presence advanced and basic obfuscate. She can pretty easily resolve that early bleed action.
Well, there's Jean Francois as well, who's got all the disciplines of basic, so you can come out and do all of the modes for break the bond.
There's quite a few. Oleg Kapazov as well. He's a 3-cap, basic presence and obfuscate. You can get out pretty easy. Jean Francois. So I don't know if you'd add multiple weenies to the deck to kind of make it a bit more. Or you can always just add like like Honest Abe or something. Just like a Bruja guy who's, well, I don't think he's Camarilla actually, but like one of your outer clan anarchs can do it as well. I don't know if we'll see a lot of splicing because there's so many clans with similar disciplines. Like we've got Nosferatu, who've got the obfuscate and the animalism, and then Ministry have the obfuscate and the presence. So I think like having a crossover deck's kind of inevitable for some players. You obviously miss out on the cool clan only stuff. And Royu, you mentioned, is pretty interesting. I think we'll see a lot of him because he's a 2-cap with obfuscate, and they tend to be quite good, especially with cards like Night Moves around. If he's unlocked during your discard phase, lock him. He gets +1 strength in combat with title vampires. It's actually a good trade-off.
I'm not sure if the Nosferatu should be like sad or happy about this crypt. Like you have old Nedaka and now you have Roy, and you used to have Stick and now you have Trung Chao Pang. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, she's incredible. We'll see a lot of her.
Yep.
Yeah, Trung Chao Pang. She's a 3-capacity anarch with advanced animalism. I mean, like you say, stick, basically, stick. But arguably better because Nosferatu anti-tribute on their own aren't that hot. Whereas, like, she's got a solid crypt to play around with her. So I think we'll see her in this, obviously, but then we'll just see her turn it up in other decks. Like, Sidisi might just run one. Nosferatu will just run one because advanced animalism is incredible, right?
Yeah. And she's already Anak. Like you don't even have to convert. Like you're straight out.
Exactly, right? It's already set up. So what do you guys think of this deck as a start compared to some of the others that are out at the moment, like the Gangrel, the Brujard, the Hakim, the Ventru? You guys think it holds up?
Oh yeah. I mean, it just bleeds for so much, and you've got it. It does a bit of everything, which is kind of nice. Like its combat package isn't incredible, but when you're in combat, you just you're not there to beat people up. You're there to just dodge and majesty.
Yeah, so. It's surprisingly toolboxy. I like that.
Yeah,
like comparing to other V5 precons, I think it's quite strong. Like you have a lot of good strategies in the deck and a few amazing vampires. Like I think Doc Martina needs a special mention. Like her ability is just super good. Like slap a Humanities on her and you're good to go. You don't even have to play that many combat cards anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, Doc Martina can rescue a vampire from torpor for 1 less blood, right? Which is pretty great. We're going to see some stuff in Salubri like that as well. She's got Animalism Advanced, Obfuscator Advanced, Basic Presence, and Basic Fortitude. She's the cover art, if you guys haven't seen it yet. Yeah, really solid vampire, like you say. I think you could, if you're playing Ventrue in a heavy combat meta, you could slide her in. You know, there's a few things you could do with her. I think a lot of these vampires are quite solid, and I really like that they went for made it kind of toolboxy, but not like the Nozza deck either. They've made it toolboxy in a zero combat package kind of way. It's quite interesting. I like the block and bleed mentality,
which is interesting. I think since they've all got animalism as well, so you could very easily make it into like more combat aligned later on.
Well, would you make it, Tommy? If you picked up the starter and you were like, right, I'm going to make it my deck now.
I don't know. Like, I think I'd put the Faceless Lights in, obviously, because they're just bonkers with the rest of the cards. What kind of combat stuff would I put in? I think so. For what's like a good animalism combat card? I suppose.
So you push more on the combat side.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, you've blocked me. Nice. Well. Goodbye.
Yeah. So you'd maybe go the classic crows, 8 from bats.
8 from bats, crows. Yeah. Put a couple of army rats in there just for fun.
Yeah, you've got a couple of like other Anarch cards as well, like Helpful Letter and stuff. Like there's probably some good options for Obfuscate too.
I'd take the Archon Investigation out, just because I think it's a bit of a flavor fail to have Archon Investigation in an Anarch deck. It's like I need help, boys, help! Oh, it's the Camarilla.
Yeah. Look who's asking for the Camarilla now.
Yeah. You should just make an Anarch one. Easy.
Anarch Investigation.
What's this?
Yeah, there's at least like 3 different ways to build a deck from those thingies. I'm a bit sad, like I have to admit, I'm a bit sad that you can't pack alpha Feral Hound during combat and unlock straight away. Like, okay, I understand why, but still I'm a bit sad about that. But honestly, I would most likely go into the direction of having like you said before, Jacques Rouge and some ministers and try to make Obfuscate presence.
Get some Barons in the mix.
Yeah, and like just you have the possibility of having like 12 unique vampires and they just bring each other out and swap the table and you win from there. Like that's what I like. Like even if you're playing like, let's say, Visions of Sabatasura, that's just go straight into the plan. That's what you're aiming anyway. If you want to have superior presence and superior Obfuscate. Yeah.
There's also there's another Anarch, Ravnos. I can't remember the name offhand. But in Group 6, unfortunately, is advanced as chemistry. I thought it was animalism, so I was like, oh, he'd be great. He's like 6 capacity. I'll put him up on the screen. Like, he's got I think it's Fortitude, Presence, and animalism. So he's not fantastic, but I think on what Antti said about getting just unique guys in, I think we'll see some lists sliding them in.
Desiree Naranian.
No, the other one. She's cool though. She's got a bunch of Anarch disciplines that we might hopefully this list will.
She's the only Ravnos Group 6 that's Anarch.
Oh, maybe I'm mistaken. I read her. Oh, he's Group 5. Never mind. Useless. Yeah.
In the bin.
You suck, Arena. Never to be played again.
Burn all my copies.
Yeah, what do you think about going like the more tap out kind of route and just using like I don't think Anarch Troublemaker to lock guys down, Misdirection to lock guys down, Faceless Knight, as you said, just go all in on the break the bonds concept. You could even put Mind Numbs in the deck. Mind Numbs could be quite powerful in this.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I think that it's missing Sleeping Mind. Like if you go that way, that route, you kind of want to like say that people shouldn't play organized resistance, for example. So I think the Salubris will do it better.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I guess that's why they didn't focus too much on that aspect of it.
But it will be still a good tactic. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a deck in that idea as well. Like having mind dumps, having troublemakers, and so on. Like, why not?
Yeah,
it's going to be surprisingly resource intensive to trying to block that kind of deck.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah. Well, either you guys got any more to add? Anything you want to say?
I'm just looking at vampires that have got animalism, obfuscate, and presence. I'm just running down the list. There's a lot of Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Well, when I see like obfuscate and presence cards, I'm always thinking like someone's going to put that in the unnamed. We're going to see like the Horde playing Visions of Zephythus, or like it's just going to be good, right? Like, well, I guess you'll still bleed up for 1 if they reduce your bleed of 8 to 0, but it's probably a worthwhile payoff for them. They're just keeping your Horde unlocked and reducing that bleed for 30 every turn. Seems pretty easy to me.
One more thing that
in a
I
circle
have to
decks
add.
too.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Night Terrors. The ability to deal with that card. That's going to be sweet. Like I'm really happy that Drapa is back.
Yeah, definitely. I think unfortunately it's lacking the. Can you still cross table it? Or is it?
Yeah, reduce the
acting mini. Oh yeah, so yeah, you can still do it to anyone else, which is great. I love that as like a table control element, just like cross table getting ousted, and you're like, no. Let's make that. I'm gonna night moves bleed you for game. It's just like, right, 0 stealth, mate. Oops, enjoy. Nice Forgotten Labyrinth you've got there on your vote. Shame it's not going to resolve. Yeah, you see a lot of table mishaps and chaos as a result of that card, I think.
I have to admit that I'm on board with Tommy about the idea of maybe trying out something more combaty with these cards. I mean, like I've already built like so many lists trying to investigate that part of the idea, but I don't want to spoil anything yet. You'll see it on the table.
That means he's solved it. And he's solved it.
It's solved. The deck is.
We'll see the next GP results. And he's going to be the winner with the Ravnos deck.
Well, I can say that Jonas, the current EC champion, is very excited about the Ravnos. Like Ravnos is his favorite clan, and he's built some very nasty stuff from it.
Oh, great! I can't wait to see what happens with this, and it's because this is like out of the 3, I'd say this is more my style. Like I like I hate stealth bleed decks because I enjoy interaction in a game. So this whole like block and bleed concept is much more for me. Like being able to just not sit there and go, oh well, that happened, I guess I've lost. Like you can cross table, reduce someone's stealth to 0. You can block your predator's votes. You can interact in ways that generally stealth bleed decks can't, and for me that's exciting.
Yep.
We've lost Tommy. He's just looking at cards.
I'm sorry. I'm literally looking at every vampire that can play. What's the card called? In Night Moves? No, break the bond. just work out a way to break this card. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You can play it with Lucian, so I'm already sold. Lucian bleed for 5. Yeah, lock you guys.
Lucian the perfect bleed.
Lucian the perfect. Yeah.
I look forward to Tuesday No, February it'll have to be for this being legal, isn't it? So yeah, for those who don't know, these cards, when new cards come out, they're legal a month after release date. So I think the release date's the next couple of days. I think. Is it now?
That's soon.
I don't know. So it'll be February.
I do know that some people already have the packs, but I'm not sure if that's like, no,
they're supposed to be out, but we're just waiting on shipping basically. So whenever the ship, I don't know if that changes the release date or not. I'm not sure on that one, but I think they've been delivered to Poland already, and we should get ours soon, hopefully. So fingers crossed. So that'll mean February tournaments, people will start seeing these decks showing up.
Yeah,
right.
And like next week's weeklies will be full on contesting, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like as soon as these come out, I think that's why they have to release them in groups to make sure that everyone's not playing the same deck at the same time. Yeah, I think we'll definitely be seeing this tournament. I'd expect to see this. We'll cover the next two decks soon as well. So thanks for coming on, guys. It's been great chat with you, and look forward to discussing Salubri and Demisi with you guys.
My personal favorite clan. Love a bit of Salubri.
And thanks to the viewers for watching as well. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.